everyone, and welcome to my channel. You already know the drill, and if you do not know the drill, my name is Elia Vanessa Santiago Aguilar, or you can call me Evsa.
And hi, I'm KappyON, or you can call me Cesar Hernandez, whichever one works.
Today, we're going to be going over the newest Markiplier movie, Iron Lung.
Yay!
And we've been working on this, like we both saw the movie together. We are super excited to go ahead and give a little bit of our opinion to you guys, see what you guys maybe think, because obviously leave it in the comments what you guys think, just our overall, what we thought of, and the experiences that we had.
The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful.
Absolutely. But before we get to that, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to not only my channel, but KappyON here as well. That way we can get more of a reach to all of our fans.
I want to share one more thing.
Oh.
If you like more things like this, leave a comment and a like to let us know that you want us to review more movies.
Absolutely.
Because I definitely feel like FNAF 2, we might be covering that one whether you guys want it or not.
Maybe. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so we do have a little bit of a little notes just here, so that way we don't get too far gone on to what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Mm-hmm. So we'll be following up with some questions, something that we've thought that would be a good topic to talk about, and go from there. How'd you feel going into the movie?
I was extremely excited because it's Markiplier. Like, already with that, I'm just like, I'm gonna go watch it, regardless if it's a box office success or a box office failure. I was just excited to see Marky move on camera.
Absolutely. Like, I would completely agree. I was super excited, especially seeing that Markiplier was coming up. And this is huge, especially for indie artists, because we don't get a lot of this type of stuff. We've seen him do stuff on YouTube where he was doing his own thing, but at the same time, seeing it on the big screen, oh my gosh, that was huge. I was super, super excited.
Especially with him bringing on a lot of the crew that worked in space and Who Killed Markiplier. I already knew it was going to be a much bigger set design than like what other YouTubers have intended to try to make like a YouTube movie in a sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like, this is much grander scale than even that.
Yes, I completely agree, because me being in my acting shoes and even director shoes in my own endeavors in the past, like I had a production company with 3 other actors, and again, all actors. We had, a little bit of, oh, well, there's this and kind of the grand idea of what we wanted to do, but seeing that something that we all could make compared to Markiplier, who I knew that he had tons of, like, not only finances, but other friends, like, in higher places that he could work with, and then seeing, again, what was it, Deep in Space? That's what it was?
In Space.
In Space. Thank you. It's just seeing all of that, I'm like, I am not worried about a thing, because I just can't wait to see it.
We all were expecting something, but what in particular were you expecting from the movie?
Well, I think anyone can agree, a lot of blood.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of blood, because I mean, the first trailers that you see, hello, it's just nothing but Markiplier just drenched in blood, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like I can't even imagine like doing that, just because it's so much to get into that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, but it's also that I'm almost going in really blind, because sure, I've seen him play the game. I've seen him play Iron Lung the full 3-4 hours that he played, but I did not realize that there was a lore update. So it was like, I didn't know like what to expect. All I was expecting was seeing maybe what this new monster would look like, because again, I've seen it in the final playthrough where he just pops up in from the back and then you're done. But what were they going to do? Was it just going to be the x-ray photos that you're taking under blood, I should say, not water?
Yeah.
But is it that, or are we going to see more? Like, what are we going to look for? But that's my take.
Yeah, my expectations were like super similar too, because I watched Markiplier's original playthrough, and then he played it again during the lore update. And that's where the game developer, I forget his name, so sorry about that, where he expanded a lot more about like the mysteries of the universe. So I expected Markiplier, because of his love of space, I should say, right, believed he was going to explore more of like the Rapture and kind of like its origins, maybe give us a little bit of a tidbit or a teaser to like what it is or what it could be, right? So That's kind of where I was just expecting to get more lore than already what the game had in it previously.
Now, mind you, I didn't remember anything about the Rapture, so I was like,
Mhm.
what is this going on? But then again, I remember watching this playthrough like years ago. So I'm like, maybe I should have rewatched it just to kind of
Yeah.
delve into it a little more. Like, oh, this is what I'm going to be going into. Hopefully, we don't know. But at the same time, I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't, because then it's like, it's a whole new story. It's something that I'm sure that other people are going to go into it the same as I was, because sure, they know Markiplier. Hopefully, I don't know, but I mean, he's a big name. But at the same time, who knows? They might not know him, and they're like, "Well, who's this guy? Independent artist? What is this film going to be about?" So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of when I'm thinking, what do I expect? Like, what am I going to go into?
Yeah, I definitely expected like a passion project, right? Because it's Markiplier. We've seen his passion projects before, which are excellently done. And so I knew we were going to get like a pretty high production value, high quality product. But as to like the actual content of the film, I just kind of was wanting the game and then a bit more.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of games, Markiplier, when are you going to be in the FNAF movie? Just saying. I'm just saying. But we're not talking about FNAF right now. We're talking about Iron Lungs. So let's get back to that. Will there be backstory and an explanation of what is going on in this world? Ooh.
I mean, we already talked about it a little bit, right? But we're gonna get into spoiler territory now, right? So I was hoping for a lot more content than what we ended up with, right? I don't know if that's because I ended up with high expectations. That's definitely a possibility. I'm not going to deny that. The mystery of the world of Iron Lung and the mystery of our protagonist was so rich, or like there was so much potential there. But because of the art direction that Markiplier and his team decided to go, we didn't end up getting a whole lot. We got enough to where you could understand the story and why people are doing the things that they have and why the characters have the motivations they have. But in terms of the actual plot, I wanted a lot more. What would you say?
And I think I would agree, because sure, yes, we did get Markiplier's own character that no one has heard of. Like you're playing an unnamed character when you get into the game, from what I remember. We knew nothing about this Simon. This was all Markiplier's ideal. My biggest thing, again, as an actor, is do not contradict the script. Do not contradict the story, because then it's not going to make any sense. So I was glad to see that was there. But I do agree with you. I do wish that there was a little more exploration of this character, because I feel like there's not too much to work off of. I feel like it should have marinated a little more.
Yeah.
Because we all know there's not going to be no damn Iron Lung 2. Or there could be. But I don't see that being the next passion project that Markiplier has. And if it is, well...
Cool.
Exactly. So, I would agree with you that I feel like the character moments should have been a little bit more solidified. Give us a little more meat to that dinner plate, because are we going to see it? We don't know.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to expand on like the creative direction. So in the podcast Lemonade Stand, which there's an episode called the Markiplier episode, he talks about a bit more of like why he kind of chose to do the things that he did and why he did them. And one of the main ones is that he did not want to steer away from the game direction at all, right?
And that's good. That's real good.
In the game, you're trapped within the submarine the entire time, right? Like you yourself don't get to explore outside of that. So he decided to bring in that vision into the movie. And so because of that, he trapped not only the protagonist, but us as the viewers inside the submarine from beginning to end. Well, almost the end. There's like a little bit where we're outside.
Well, yeah. But
right. I'm not one to disagree with the way things were done. I am more so just left disappointed that we couldn't, right?
Okay.
Because creatively, you could go pretty much anywhere with this.
Oh, absolutely.
But I do have to respect the decision on why it was made, because a lot of problems with video game adaptations to like big screen or even to TV shows, right, is that you then start taking liberties in areas where you don't have to take liberties. But like here, Simon is a completely original character to the video games, right? So are all the other characters. So is the backstory. So it's like you gave us a little bit of something there to latch onto just to connect with our protagonist. But again, I would have loved to see us explore his character a bit more. I personally, because I love lore and I love the Aristotle too, is like just getting like a few more answers to help point us towards the right direction as to like what this thing is, because you get a sense of what the genre of the movie is, sort of, right? Where we kind of think it's like a sci-fi horror, when in reality it's more of just kind of like an eldritch being horror, right? It's like this thing beyond our understanding. And the reason I bring that up in particular is because of one of my biggest gripes of the movie. She knows it, is the scene where Simon is kind of like going bonkers, right? So it's kind of like up in the air whether the thing was actually talking to him or not, right?
Oh, yeah.
So in the movie, what ends up happening is Simon is starting to hear a voice speak to him, right? And lo and behold, it's revealed that it is the blood itself, right? Because the blood is alive to some extent, right? It's the creature within the blood, but the creature comes from the blood. And so it ends up wanting to be like, oh, Simon, I am your salvation. I am this planet's salvation. But to me, what makes a horror movie scarier is when the thing is just this malevolent being that is trying to kill just for the sake of killing, right? It's why movies like Alien just kind of exist, right? Like Alien is terrifying because it doesn't care what the hell is in front of it. It's just going to go after it and destroy it, right? Same thing with, I would argue, the Friday the 13th movies with Jason Voorhees, right? Right? Those are the movies. Yeah, because Halloween is Mike Myers. So there's not a purpose as to why they're doing this thing. It's just that you are in danger 24/7. You should run. You should be scared. To me, that is more terrifying than this thing pretending that it is trying to be some sort of saint, right? And that's kind of where I have issues with where they decided to go with it, but I understand why they did it.
If anything, I do want to add on to it because one of the things that I find a little bit scarier is the fact that you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is that's chasing after you. Sure. As I said, like, we didn't know, and because now we're in spoiler territories, we said in the beginning that we don't know how it's going to happen. We don't know if we're going to see the monster. And it's the fact that we didn't see the monster unless you saw the x-rays, as another thing that I already said. So the fact that you don't see the full beast in the end, it still is something that kind of scares me, because it's like, we see this, we see the skeleton, but what does it look like on the outside? Like, what does this creature truly fully look like?
Yeah.
And that was something that was like, oh, the unknown. Oh, I'm scared. I'm like, oh, I don't know. But I do have to agree with you. It's something where,
like, keep it more unknown is what I'm trying to argue, right?
Yes.
Like, if this thing could have a purpose, but it feels so much more terrifying to know that we don't know that, right? So, but the fact that it's being like, oh, I'm trying to be your salvation, or I'm trying to be a savior, it's just kind of like, it always leaves a sour taste in my mouth, right? Where it's just like, oh, I don't mind watching my protagonist be defeated by the bad guy, essentially, right? That's not necessarily what I'm arguing. It's that I'm arguing that this creature should just be an unknown force, and that's pretty much it. And I think they should have stopped it there and not gone any further. You could still have Simon's like blood trip, right? Where he thinks the thing is talking to him, but then it really it gives us an unreliable narrator, right? Because we're watching the story unfold through Simon's actions. So if Simon is going insane, can we really believe everything we're hearing and seeing, right? So it would have added another level of like, this thing is actually not alive. This thing's not talking to you. So, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it.
yeah. And dare I say, can we pin exactly where Simon went crazy? Because I think that the where he went crazy was when, again, spoilers, when the shield that was on the window was coming down, because the window was about to crack. It was cracking and cracking. And then finally it did a little and it was right on the eye. So if anything, that's right in to where it could get into the body, where it's not just on the skin, it's in your body, because it got in your eye, and that's where it started happening.
Yeah, and that's where the story really started unfolding.
Exactly. So that's where I'm thinking that that's where he started losing his sanity, because it's like, where else could he have gotten to that point? Because yeah, sure, he did go into the blood to get what was it? Was it a? It was a safety pack or something that he was trying to get, where he was literally going in.
Oh, right, yeah. So he goes in there twice. The first
Mhm.
time was because he needed to restart the engine.
Right.
And then the second time is he needed, I forget what it's called, but it's like an information panel that is connected to the submarine, right? That contains the data. So he had to save the one on his, and then also later on in the movie, he had to save the one of the previous wreckage. So,
Right. Okay. I think that was. I feel like that was the one point where he was losing his mind, and I think he did a real good job at doing that too.
yes, absolutely.
Because So I guess this goes into the next question. What surprised you the most?
I will say is just how immersed I started getting in it, right? Because I was worried for a while. We're going to talk about it later. I was worried about the fact that we were going to be stuck in a submarine the entire time. I love character study movies where essentially you are focused on the one main character, and one of my favorite movies is 12 Angry Men, right?
Oh.
But at least like, oh, you're trapped within a room, but there are 12 different characters you explore, right? We're trapped. Hello, Kat. Essentially, we're trapped in one room with one character. You kind of want to explore that, but the way Mark and his team went about it is I ended up feeling claustrophobic. I ended up feeling hopeless. I ended up feeling bored right in the moments where he really wanted me to feel bored. So I truly, well, I got immersed. I said it before, but it was awesome. And then also just knowing what the lore from the game definitely helped elaborate some of the areas where you might have been a little confused. So to me, I was definitely seeing like a lot more like little, what I would say, Easter eggs or little tidbits or little references to like, oh hey, you know, this is from the game. This is the lore. Go play it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I would agree. I felt very immersed into the world. It was something where I could feel how the characters were feeling, or character, I should say. I could feel how the dread was consuming him, and just the need, the want to just get out and just be free. But he would never get there, you know? So I was immersed to a point where I was like, holy cow, I'm feeling the claustrophobia. I'm feeling just the dread. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? I'm literally on the edge of my seat trying to like, what's gonna happen next? Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Oh, and I'm like going crazy, just what's gonna happen? Another thing that surprised me the most, as I said, and I keep not harping on it, there's another word I'm looking for. I'm congratulating, I'm emphasizing, I'm just like, yes, I'm in love with it. Markiplier came out with his own original character.
Yes.
And that was one thing that I was like, you know what? That's real good. That's real good, because it's like, I love it when someone, again, can bring in their own character and not contradict the story, can actually add on to the story. Like, this is the reason why he's down here. This is the reason why everything is happening to him, because of what his character went through, because of what his character, dare I say, did. It doesn't seem like that in the flashback, but at the same time, we don't know that.
Yeah.
So
there's still an air of mystery around that.
Absolutely. And I'm like just seeing little Simon and everything, and I'm like, what did poor kid do? What did he do? He didn't do anything.
Exactly. And I'm just kind of like, give us more of that, please.
Like, tell me why, like the little boy is in the wrong. Like what's wrong? He seems like a good guy. Like it seems like it, honestly, it seemed to me like it was more of an accident than anything.
Yeah. They give us a little bit of information where he's a part of a group of people that are worshiping what I would want to say is like one of the last pieces of plant life on the planet. And because of Simon, or at least that's what the other characters in the movie are saying. There are other characters other than Simon, but they only have like 20 lines in total.
Yeah.
So they keep saying like, oh, it's your fault, oh, it's your fault, or it's your fault. And Simon is basically just in deny, right? So there's maybe a little bit where he was an outcast already within his own group, and he's now also a convict, which is an outcast of the last of the living people. But they kind of don't have a choice other than to embrace him because he is a human stuck within this world around them. And I agree. So that's why it's like there's a lot more of an emotional impact that could happen if we explore Simon and connect to him more than we already are, right? It's more so we are connecting to him because we don't have another choice.
Yeah,
Right?
pretty
It's
much.
not like we're following another character. We're following
That,
Simon.
yeah, like he is our main character. He's the one we're trapped down in this blood ocean with. So, oy, but yeah, I love how you're just here, Miss Ma'am. Just want to be a part of the video, no matter what. My goodness. Okay, so our next question would be, how well do you think this was made? Ooh, yeah. I'm excited to answer this one.
So just to give, I'm not going to go fully into my thing. I'm just going to say the first part, right? Where the behind the scenes social media, I knew from the get-go the set design was going to be awesome because Markiplier would not shut up about it. But the rig they used to slam him to every single wall in that goddamn submarine, I knew, I'm like, okay, he's pulling out all the stops on this one. The amount of blood he decided to get, well, it's fake blood, but the amount of blood he decided to get, the rig I forget if he rented it or if he bought it. I think he just rented. The rig he rented in order to have the set design onto there, the costume design, and the fact that he's working from the team who worked with him in space and who killed Markiplier. Whoa! Like, and then also, I'm gonna get into it later, but there was such attention to detail on every single little thing. And the more you watch the interview on the podcast, Lebanese Stand, I should say, the more you just see like everything was done with intent. Like this movie was extremely well made.
Absolutely.
Very, very well made.
A reason why I was super excited about this, because again, I've been in the acting shoes, I've been in the acting industry. So I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to actually delve into this one. So as I have always said, I didn't know what to expect of this movie. I wasn't always on Markiplier's social media seeing everything. I did see a few photos here and there, and again, a little behind the scenes like tip, or not even a tip, but like a fun fact. It is more so that an actor or the actors will never go through page 1 all the way to the end. They are always going to do it at a different time. They're always going to do it at a different time, especially because if you think about it, Markiplier being in that blood, he had to have it all in his eyes, all in his everywhere. So obviously that would be something, that would be something of a...
He got hospital.
Exactly. So I would think that this would be last day of shooting just because it would pose such a risk. So seeing that, and I was like, this is definitely going to be something where it's like, ooh, that's going to be well paid off. Well paid off. But that's definitely something that was like last day of filming. And then everyone was just like, yeah, you know, it's covered in blood. But again, it's the whole thing of I've seen In Space on YouTube. I actually went through all of them and went all through the different things because I like to do little theory videos and like, oh, what if I do this? What if I do that? I mean, we saw how I played Creepy Dates.
Yeah.
So the thing is...
Check that out, by the way.
Thank you. I knew this was going to be really big, especially because he had the drive, he had the passion, and I'm sure he had the finances, and he made well over even at the box office for this film, the first weekend. And I knew it wasn't going to be no $3 million Disney project, right? But it was still a hefty amount. And it paid off. It looked really good. I was very happy with the set design, the costume design, just the all-around design that brought you into the world. If you can do that, then you are amazing and great at your craft, because that's something that's really, really big.
Yes.
So that is something that had really honed in for me. Like this is good. And I knew it wasn't no B movie, no nothing like that. Like this is the good shit, you know what I mean? But either way.
Yeah. And Mark had a goal on what he wanted to achieve, and that was extremely obvious from the way he placed his shots, the amount of close-up shots he had, and also a lot of them that were also kind of unconventional, where the character would be kind of like not within the camera shot that is usually expected from a big Hollywood film, but also he is, well, an indie director, right? He gets to do whatever the hell he wants. So that very much becomes apparent. And I think it works out rather well, right? That it is unconventional and that we have these kind of like uncomfortable, or I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Do you know what the word is when you like uncanny? That's what I'm looking for.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So we get like a lot of these uncanny shots that are like super close to either the protagonist's eyes or where you can see the texture of like the blood dripping from like rusty pipes and stuff. And you're just like, to me, I like it when you let the scene kind of like play out and let it speak for itself, right? But I can also extremely respect what Markiplier was going for, where he wanted to be a bit more unconventional. He wanted to use the lenses that he fell in love with. If you watch Distractable, you know how much he talks about that. And like it just created an atmosphere that was uncanny and uncomfortable, and that's the whole point, right? Like we're not supposed to feel like we're in a familiar place. We're supposed to feel unfamiliar. We're supposed to feel like
Uncomfortable.
like I don't want to be here.
Exactly.
Right. And I think a lot of his art direction and the way he chose to shoot the scene and the way he posed the scene definitely nailed that.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
What were your likes and dislikes about the movie?
Okay, so I mean, I'm pretty sure we can all pretty much answer that for me, for both of us. It was an independent film that was absolutely fantastic with the on-set design, suspense, and even the drama. Like there was an original character. It was all like, you could tell this was a passion project. There was no restraints on it whatsoever. This was something where we're just gonna go in it. We're gonna go 10 toes down, gonna go stand on business. This is what we're trying to push. This is what we're trying to do.
Yes.
And the thing is, it does not have to be with A-list actors. It does not have to have the budget of Disney. I keep throwing shade, but I'm sorry. You've seen all of these films that are flopping.
Like you could replace Disney with pretty much any big production company that doesn't help indie, right? Like we could throw shade at Amazon, we could throw shade at Disney, we could throw shade at Warner Brothers, right? Like, so it's not just like anti-Disney, it's anti-established Hollywood.
Exactly, right? Because but trust me, and I've touched on this on a few of my videos before in the past. Hollywood is just very much paper cut with the actors, with the stories, with basically just about everything. So seeing a fresh new idea that no one has ever seen before, gosh, that is like a 10 out of 10. Just because they are stepping out of the box and they're actually bringing something that people would, maybe not, but will definitely appreciate because it's something different. So I think that what they did, I think that Mark was I think he was a good actor. I think that he really fell into his character. Sometimes we'll talk on that dislike later, but either way, it told a really good story, even if no one had played the game. And if no one played the game and they see that Markiplier played it, because I can't tell you, the moment that this movie came out, I got nothing but Iron Lung by Markiplier, Iron Lung by Markiplier, no matter what, on my YouTube feed, because they knew it was going to be so big, because they saw that people were starting to come back to it. So that's a huge thing for him as well. Even if he wasn't going to get it from the movie, which he did, he was definitely going to get more revenue going back to his channel, going back to all of his videos and stuff like that. So if anything, it was a win-win for him no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was also open about it, where he was just like, even if this movie lost him money, he didn't care. The fact that he did it was enough for him. And my likes overall pretty much the same. And kind of like how I said before, set design, beautiful. Just being able to put us within that setting, within the blood ocean, right? Absolutely amazing. The movie was excellently done. And then Troy Baker.
This boy has not been stopped talking about it.
I love Troy Baker. What can I say?
Like, obviously, we took time to just talk it out. We wrote the outline and everything like that. But literally nothing but Troy Baker. I was like, who the fuck is Troy Baker?
It's awesome.
I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. Let me find out who this guy is. But yeah, like that I knew was a big one.
Yeah, voice acting is easily one of my biggest passions, and Troy Baker is one of the biggest names in the industry. And then also he's in The Last of Us show. Oh, how did Mark get this guy? Is all I'm wondering. Because goddamn.
But I love that. Like, it's something where, like, we have our likes, but this man with Troy Baker.
Yes.
But either way, really, really good. We have really good, positive things to talk about this film.
Yeah. I liked a lot of the film. Right. That's why my answer is so simple, because it is just like I liked the film. I have my gripes with it, but my gripes nowhere outweigh like my like of the film whatsoever. Now, what's something you dislike?
Now we're getting to that point. Let's see. So, and I think we've already pretty much touched on this in the beginning. I wish we would have gotten a little more time, a little more drama, like a little more of the drama with the character that we haven't seen, with the character that is an original character. Because as I said, who knows if we're going to get a part 2 to this franchise that he's pushing out.
Yep.
One thing I also do want to push out as well, because this is another like, and I totally forgot about it. I do appreciate that he was actually talking and conversing with the original creator of Iron Lung.
Oh, absolutely.
That was something that I had a lot of respect for him with doing, because I was like, I hope this is not just something where people are going to just take it and then, you know, do whatever they want with it. Because that was one of the things that happened, like with the live action How to Train Your Dragon.
It also happened with Witcher.
Exactly. So the thing was, like, the How to Train Your Dragon one, I know specifically, is that the original director of the animated flick wanted to take on the live action one because he's like, I don't want anybody touching my passion project. I don't want anyone touching my story. I don't want anyone getting their hands on it, so I'm going to do it myself. And I'm like, that's cool and all, but that's going to be a whole different discussion if we do talk about that. Either way, that was something where he's like, I don't want anyone to take it, because who knows how this truly goes if you're trying to adapt a video game, another movie, another show into another big movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we've seen it happen to where, like, when producers think a story is stupid, right? So, like, that's actively what actually happened in The Witcher show. The producers were like, we think the story of The Witcher is stupid. And it's just like, well, it became the best-selling game and got Game of the Year multiple years in a fucking row. So what do you know, right? And so it pissed me off. Like, don't get me wrong, the show is okay, but it's straying away from the games so much that it's its own thing, that why does it even have Geralt in it? Like, truly, that's always what pops in my head. And hi, Cat. And like a super similar thing happened with the Halo TV show. Absolute flop, but that's because they didn't have Master Chief, they had John Halo. Like, you are not giving respect to the original creation that made it popular to begin with.
Exactly.
What is your problem?
Exactly.
You are straying away from the product that people love and recognize and are familiar with for something new and different, which I'm okay with experimenting, but when you have such a popular IP, why would you stray away from it so much that it ends up angering the fan base that you are making the thing for? That's my 2 cents on it.
I mean, it's another thing. Another thing I already said, contradicting the story. That is something that I just don't like. So going now into the dislikes, again, I said, I wish that we could have gotten something that was like more. I wanted more, because I wanted more of the backstory. I wanted more of the drama. I wanted more of what was going on and how Simon got here. I understand that with Markiplier saying that, look, this is something where, hey, this is how I wanted to make it. All of the long pauses and the pacing, it was intentional. All of this, it was intentional. So cool. But me as a viewer, I wanted a little more. So with that as well, I'm also going to say Mark, because I heard the stories. He can sometimes get in his head, and he, unfortunately, I don't know, social media person that has barely just gotten their chops into acting. Some not so much, but others,
absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think he was the best actor. He's a good actor. He's a good actor. I don't think he was the best, only because there was unfortunately moments that I saw that he was taking me out, and I was like, oh, hello, hi, Markiplier, because it was like, I remember those screams anytime that you're crashing out about all these games, and I'm like, so I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, so. I know. For me, that was definitely like a big issue towards the beginning of the movie, right? Because eventually Mark did end up finding like his rhythm and like the attitude he should have while playing Simon, and you start getting into that, but in the beginning of the movie, it's basically like, you definitely feel like, hello everybody, my name is Markiplier in the beginning, right? And I think it's also the fact that we know Markiplier so well because we've been seeing him on screen for over a decade on YouTube. So I think for us, it took us definitely like a quick moment to be like, okay, let's not see Mark on screen. Let's see Simon played by Mark.
Right.
So to touch on voice acting again, that happens a lot with like voice actors. For example, Roger Craig Smith, very popularly known as Sonic the Hedgehog. So when he tries playing other characters like oh god, what is it? He voiced the character in a zombie game that escapes my mind right now. But when a lot of people play that game who know Roger Craig Smith from the Sonic games, whenever the character is yelling, they don't hear Sonic, or they don't hear the character,
They hear
they hear Sonic. And so I feel like that's what was happening to us when we first saw it, but it took us a little bit of time to finally, okay, no, his acting chops are definitely there. And he started going into the rhythm, started following the flow, and I'm like, yeah, this is Simon.
And let me add on to that as well, because as I said, we have no idea if day one was page one. Again, the only thing I can think of out of girl, I'm trying to speak. Mommy's trying to speak. I think the only thing is that the only theory I have would be, again, the final blood scene where he's just drenched in it had to be the last day, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. But again, we do not know if day one was page one. Day one could have been paged 80, or day one could have been page 15. Who knows? We don't know. But at the same time, with seeing him, that sure we saw it in the beginning, and then slowly but surely we got to Simon, that still shows really good development, because it's a thing of like, oh, okay. So we don't know if they went out of order. They could not. We don't know. This is all behind the scenes. This is all stuff that only the producers, the directors, and Markiplier can answer. I mean, he's also a producer, director, but either way. So it's that thing of like, I appreciate that because again, we don't know, and at the same time, we could see him grow. We could see Markiplier turn into Simon, and I don't feel like it took that long.
No.
But
not really.
but it was something where it was like, that was hold on, that hello Markiplier, like, okay, cool, I see you, I know exactly who you are.
And what I will say is another thing, and it's just because I'm a fanboy of Troy Baker, is I would love to see more of the supporting cast like actually, be able to speak or interact with Simon in a way, right? Like,
oops, so sorry.
Like if you guys didn't know, Jacksepticeye played a character in the movie. Where the hell was he? He was the welder.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know.
Exactly.
What the hell?
Yeah, so Jack played Jack. That's the welder's name. And like, so Troy Baker gets like a handful of lines, right? We mainly get to hear, I forget if it's Ellie or if it's Elsie Lovelock, right? So, but like the supporting cast is doing also an amazing job. Elsie Lovelock, Ellie Lamont, Caroline Kaplan. Like, they're all amazing. They all did their part great. But I would have loved to see more of that, but we didn't get to because we were trapped within the steel confine of a submarine. That's what I mean by, like, Simon, interact with these people.
It's just a little bit.
Like, a little bit. Like, give us more, right? Like, let us feel like we're a part of this world. Give me more Troy Baker.
I don't know you would say this. Anyways. Wow. Okay.
I mean, he gave Jacksepticeye cancer in the movie, so
That was like, is that a little underlying thing?
No.
Like, are y'all too okay? Is the please be okay?
Now let's get into another thing that Mark talked about on the Lemonade Stand podcast is editing, right? So he himself had oversight over editing over the 2 or 3 years that this took. So fun fact, shooting took them 34 days, if I'm not mistaken. So they shot for 34 days, and then the rest of the time was pure editing.
Yep.
And here's a story that I absolutely love. He decided to turn his bathroom into a render farm. So essentially, he just built a bunch of computers so he can build like the blood simulations, and also so he could render out the goddamn movie. And that's what one of his passion projects turned into. One passion project led to another because he had to solve a problem, which is crazy, but awesome. I wanted to talk about the editing because at first I did not like it because the pacing of the movie slowed down significantly within the middle of the movie, right? So we have the first part where Simon is sent to go down just to get like a little sample of something, right? And then eventually he gets lost. That takes up quite a bit of the movie, and the movie slows down to a crawl. This is dragging on for a bit, not gonna lie. As I was watching it unfold, because I no longer felt that sense of claustrophobia. I felt bored. And that disappointed me because I don't like to get bored in movies, right? I want to feel something at all times. But when Markiplier Markiplier expanded on this idea, that he has the idea that survival comes along with boredom, or boredom comes along with survival. And this movie is a survival horror movie.
Right.
He wanted us to feel bored. He did that on purpose. So I'm like, I have to get props where props is due.
Absolutely.
I got bored. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, there were moments where I was like, wait, what's going on right now?
Basically, because he's just doing circles in the blood because he's lost. And it's just like, I felt frustrated. I felt bored. But that's also exactly how Simon was feeling. It was intentional. And that's where I'm like, oh, okay, so I was meant to feel bored, so I don't hate the pacing anymore.
Yeah.
It like completely gave me a 180 because he was just like, oh yeah, if you got bored during this part of the movie, perfect.
You were supposed to.
That's what he wanted. And I'm like, oh, damn, okay. So I was gonna essentially take some points off, if, for lack of better English. But no, instead I have to give him points for doing so because he did it. I felt the emotion he wanted me to feel.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
exactly.
Cool.
Like, I do agree with that. Like, it really is, because you don't know. It's the whole thing of the chase. You do not know if they are still following you. You do not know if this entity that is this dangerous entity is following you anymore. And it's like, again, the whole thing of the unknown. So with that, it's like, okay, is nothing turning? Like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't understand. Like, and there was another thing that I also do want to touch on. When it came down to the editing, I do know that there was a few camera angles that were broken. Kind of like the whole 180 rule of, like, if I'm right here and the camera's right here, it makes sense that if I'm talking to you, the camera will not be over here. The camera will be over here. So it was a whole thing of, okay, that rule was broken just a little bit, just a hair. But at the same time, we all know that Markiplier likes cameras. So he had a vision, and again, the vision was to kind of make me feel like, wait, why? Or it's uncomfortable, or I don't like this, or so. And it was all for good reason, because he wanted you to feel that. So it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm again rethinking. Am I really beefing about this, or was it that this is exactly what he wanted me to feel? Is this exactly what he wanted and what he pictured the audience would feel?
Yeah, because legitimately, so much of this was planned, right? So I haven't talked about it yet, but if I remember correctly, there were 14 stages from beginning, middle, and end, right? And the set was meant to evolve with the costume design, was meant to evolve with the plot, was meant to evolve with the makeup, was meant to evolve with the story unfolding. So every detail of this movie was not accidental, or everything was on purpose. And it's amazing.
I do want to say something.
What?
Markiplier in a harness.
Of course.
Here I'm married. But it's like, that's literally all that I see. There was a meme that went around that was like, oh yeah, like Iron Lang was really cool, this and that, blah blah. And then you see the other person's like, Markiplier was in a harness. And I'm like, oh my gosh. You find shit. But yeah, that took me by storm, because I was like, oh, here he goes.
I get to fanboy over Troy Baker. You get to fanboy over harness.
Here he goes, Magic Mike'ing, and just getting the I was like, boy, you had to do that. You had to do that, didn't you? Anyway, so that was an off. You mentioned it, but that was, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Can't say it anymore. Oh man, so the other editing story, how the compass actually turned into a nightmare for Markiplier, because
Oh yeah.
the way he thought the compass worked was actually different than the intentional game design, and so he was like, "Damn it!" Now he has to fix that. So he fixed the way the compass looks in post, and I'm just like, "That's insane for you to do," but he did it.
So another thing that I have to really commend them on is it wasn't a silent film. Like, even though, yes, of course, we have our actors speaking and everything like that, even in times of just, sitting there in the dark, sitting there in the blood ocean, I'm glad to hear the suspenseful music that was coming in and to find out that there was someone behind it. And like, you can, from what you told me, you can access it on Spotify. It's more so a score
Yep.
soundtrack than it is like an album.
Yes.
But at the same time, that's like a big thing for me is like music. So I'm like, I wanna see. I wish I could find out what their thought process was behind each and every one of the beats, because if anything, it flowed very, very nicely. I didn't even realize like, oh, the music is now this, and it's like, oh, and then again, even with the whole blood in the eye, and the music's just,
Yep.
because it's like, oh shit,
Yep.
oh shit, what's going on? So, would you like to touch on the music of?
Yes. So while I was writing out like my notes and thoughts about the movie, one thing that escaped me was the music. And that's for two reasons. One of them I would say is good. The other one I say not so good. So the first one is every single scene has its own original track that goes along with it, right? Because every single scene is meant to have a specific song that sends a very specific, that meets a very specific atmosphere, right? So if you look up the album on Spotify, or the score, I should say, the songs within order are the order of events that happen within the movie. So if you ever forget, oh wait, what happened first, this or this, look up the soundtrack. Absolutely amazing. I thought that was really cool. And I'm not downplaying Andrew Holshut. I really hope I'm saying his name right. I'm not downplaying his ability to make music. The music sounded gritty. It sounded horrifying. It sounded uncomfortable, right? Like it sounded like just... Honestly, if you ever listen to the Doom soundtrack where Mick Gordon used an actual chainsaw to make some of the sounds, that's essentially kind of what that sound is, but from a different producer. And the reason I say it's both good and bad that every single scene has its own unique flavor is now none of the tracks stick out. Right? So I've said it before, where a cornfield chase from the movie Interstellar is used prominently within the film. You hear it every time it comes on, but you hear it at very specific moments. If you watch through the movie Interstellar, the twist ending at the end now influences how you rewatch the film. And that music has a completely different definition to it. So if you don't know, there are things in films called leitmotifs. And leitmotifs are essentially the song that fits the theme, or is the character theme song or the setting theme song, right? Whenever you see Superman on screen and you hear those trumpets start playing, you know the mood that you're going to be in for. That there is hope, that there is savior, that there is someone here to save you, right? Simon doesn't get that. The creature doesn't get that. The blood doesn't get that, right? So it would have been amazing to like see Simon on screen for the first time and he has his leitmotif, right? And then later on, when he does his big sacrificial action, we hear that leitmotif come on again. It would have, to me, elevated the scene because now I have attached this sense of familiarity to an audio cue. Right. And so now visually I'm stimulated and auditorily I'm stimulated. And now I'm like, I can attach myself with literally with all senses to the character Simon, right? So I'm not to say that, again, I'm not downplaying the ability of the music or just what the music sounds like. I am downplaying the choice that each scene be unique in that way, right? So, but it was definitely a creative decision. Whether it's good or bad, to me, it's definitely subjective. So I would have liked to see maybe a more traditional go-to on how Hollywood likes to do it. But again, Markiplier wanted to create a sense of unfamiliarity. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was an active choice by him and Andrew.
Yeah. And I agree.
Mhm.
So that was a lot for us to talk about, to deep
Yes.
dive into,
Mhm.
because again, very, very passionate about Markiplier's work and about what he had achieved.
Mhm.
And again, it's a thing of, it's a calling card to those of us that are independent artists, independent creators that want to just go out and do what we want and create the things that we want, and to see that it's not impossible. So now overall, what would we go ahead and rate this film?
I would give this movie solid 8 out of 10, especially for a first go around of the movie.
Absolutely.
It was excellently made. The acting was fairly solid, I will say. But like everything else was intentional. The way the movie was edited, the way the movie was paced, the costume design, every single thing was planned out from beginning, middle, and end, right? So, and then obviously just the fact that Markiplier was also very open on his budget for the movie. He said that it was around $4 million. And in the box office, he made a lot more than that.
He did.
But he didn't greed it. Like, he didn't automatically be like, oh, I'm going to pocket all this. Instead, he took his entire team of over 100 people, doubled their salaries as bonuses, just as a thank you. And overall, he showed that it doesn't take A-list actors, it doesn't take A-list producers, it doesn't take an A-list studio to create an A-list movie. This movie was amazing for a first go round. There are other YouTubers who have attempted to break into the Hollywood scene, and either they give us a mediocre product, or there was so much step in from executives and other suits that they don't get to have that creative vision. We got to see Markiplier deliver on his creative vision in terms of emotions and in terms of just the product that we receive as a movie. And I am just so extremely excited to see other YouTubers get influenced by this, and also whatever passion project may be next, right? Because he said that he doesn't want to create another video game adaptation, but if that's in his future, he's not against it. And I'm just here, as a fan of Mark, but also as a fan of movies, I am just extremely excited to see what he creates. I really hope he continues to create, and I really hope no one tries to step in between that, because this movie was amazing. Whether you want to give it higher than an 8 out of 10 or lower than an 8 out of 10, obviously that's subjective. But to me, that's definitely where it stands, because I want to say my gripes are still valid, and my subjectivity is my own subjectivity. And I was gonna give it a 7, but I gave it an 8 because Troy Baker.
Because of Troy Baker. Okay. Gotta throw that one in there, huh?
Yes.
Well, you stole my line.
Okay.
But I do agree with you. I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. And I dare I say I would give it almost a low 9 out of 10 too. Just because of everything that was said. Again, don't need A-list actors. Don't need an A-list production company. Don't need an A-list studio. You don't need all of that to be able to create something like this.
Yes.
And this is huge inspiration for those who really truly want to get their name out there with their own films, with their own TV shows, with whatever they're wanting to create in the industry. And I think that's huge. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. Again, our opinions are going to be our opinions. And I feel like, if anything, I think we owe a huge thank you to Lemonade Stand actually bringing Markiplier on to interview him about that, because it answered so many things that a lot of us fans were already up in arms about. Because I can't tell you how many times I went on like Rotten Tomato or any of the other like review sites where they were like, oh, well, Markiplier's movie was dog shit, or it was this, or it was that. And I'm just like, okay, but what are your reasonings? Again, how I said in the FNAF review, of give me a good reason of why you think it's so bad. And hearing some of them, like what we brought up, the whole pacing issue, he's not completely in touch with his character in the beginning, like, sure. But seeing and hearing what Markiplier had to say for himself about this, it shed a completely new light of, wow, This man is not only very grateful for what he had like worked on and feeling very accomplished for what he's been able to push out, but he doesn't like keep it all to himself. Like, he's being so generous to all of his staff that worked with him. He's doing all of these things that you really wouldn't expect most of these actors, no shade, but a lot of these actors nowadays that are just like, oh, like, no, I'm not even gonna worry about that person. I'm not even, no, it sheds another light of there is still not only positivity and nothing but gratefulness and generosity in this community, but it's a thing of like this whole movie, whether you're looking at the movie or the behind the scenes, it speaks volumes, and it really brings a new light, or even a bigger, brighter light than we've ever had in this industry before. So I would rate it a high 8, maybe low 9 out of 10. We'll just say high 8 out of 10 just so we can have that. Like, that for sure is an 8 out of 10. But yeah, because again, it's not necessarily a movie that I would say changed my life. Yeah. But it is something that does bring me a lot of inspiration because of the message behind the scenes, because of the work that's put into it. Like, I have nothing but amazing words for Markiplier and his team, and just every one of the person's words that put their hard work into this. So that is my final thing. Yeah. Oh, and then of course Markiplier in a harness. Anyways.
Yeah. To add on to that, it was literally art for the sake of making art.
Absolutely.
Everyone he got. I'm trying to remember the story that he gave as an example, because they asked him, it's just like, where do you find these people, right? Like, who knows how to even do this? And he was just like, there are people in the industry who want to do these things.
Absolutely.
But people just not necessarily don't let them, but no one gives them the opportunity to.
Exactly.
So he went to his crew of people and said, who do you know that can do this? And they were like, I got just the person. This entire team was just people who are artists who wanted to deliver the best possible thing that they could. And they nailed it.
Absolutely.
Easily. Absolutely amazing.
So, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode, this podcast, whatever you want to call it, like interview or whatever. And I really do appreciate all of your views, all of your likes, all of your comments. I appreciate everything that you guys do for me, for this channel, and hopefully for KappyON here, because go and follow this man. He is amazing. Sure, he doesn't do the same thing that I do. If you're looking for other stuff along those lines, Kappy's your guy. Like, he is amazing at what he does. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, not only to me, but KappyON here for more content. And we will see you guys in the next adventure. Bye.
Bye. Comment for F2. Bye.
If you guys want to see more content like this, us reviewing games, movies, whatever, be sure to leave it down in the comments what you guys would like us to review. Leave us a rating of what you guys think of the movie, this video, and please, 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 if you haven't already, go check out Lemonade Stand for more info, go check out Markiplier, and go check out Iron Lung, because I can assure you, you will have the time of your life.